Togepi, an egg Pokemon. Specific information about this Pokemon is still unavailable.
Last year I made this pumpkin Togepi after this TikTok popped off. Now the guy who originally makes the figure does sell it, but he does not sell the model file itself. So I decided to make one myself. However, after I made it and I was finishing up the video, I did not like the way it was going. That and the model itself was also messed up, so I decided to redo it this year, and hopefully it'll be out by the time it's Halloween. I don't know, I don't have a consistent schedule. Yeah, see, that did not happen. But since it took so long, I decided to also make a new one. We're gonna keep this Pokemon a secret, do the kind of who is that Pokemon. But with that, let's just jump right into it. Now the issue I had with old Togepi's model was that the head was very lumpy and it did not stay on at all. Now I don't have the footage of me fixing the head, I fixed it on my iPad in Nomad Sculpt. The footage being shown is actually when I modeled it the first time, which is remixing the pumpkin model file from Thingiverse, and then I got Togepi from a video game model website. From there I did the brutal act of removing the head, the arms, and the leg of Togepi, taking those removed parts and then throwing them onto the pumpkin. Now, in order for Togepi to be able to be printed, I did have to thicken the model up, but doing this caused his head to be lumpy, and this was my first time remixing something, so I did not quite know how to fix it. But now, a year later, with some experience under my belt, I felt like I was ready to try to fix them. As for our mystery Pokemon, I also got it from the video game model site. Like I said before, these models are not print ready. They aren't thick enough for the printer to actually print them. Now you can solidify them in Blender, but that's when another error occurs. When you go to slice the model to get ready to print it, it puts supports inside the model as well, meaning the model is hollow. Now the only way I have found to fix this was to go into the model and delete the inside layer, which took a very long time. But once that was done, it was finally time to print. So recently I've been trying to get rid of my small rolls of filaments that I have left over, and I had 2 small rolls of orange. So while Togepi was printing, I had to switch the rolls mid-print. It wasn't until after Togepi finished printing that I realized it was 2 different shades of orange. And when our mystery Pokemon was printing, I fell asleep while the roll ran out, so I had to go back into the model software and cut where it did not print and reprint the remaining bit, so that way after they were both printed I could put them together and then we'll be able to paint them. The first time I did this, I put a coat of resin, painted it, and then put another coat of resin. I do not recommend this at all. This is such a waste of money and resin. This time, I kind of just did a light sanding and then I painted over it. I just airbrushed or painted. For the skin, I used a shade called Buff. I painted the eyes and the mouth black, and since the model is 2 different shades of orange, I did end up painting the body, which was the one thing I tried to avoid, and I fucked up. I also really like the look of resin in the mouth, so I decided to do it on this one as well. I started off by doing one side at a time so that way the resin doesn't flow out of the mouth since it is a sphere. So I started with one side, put UV resin in it, and then threw it in my UV oven, which my UV oven is just a mini fridge that doesn't work no more, with emergency blankets attached to all the walls, and with a strip of UV lights going around 3 walls of it. And after both sides were done, it was time for a clear coat. I find that golden makes a really good clear coat. I haven't had any problems with them yet. yet, so I'll let you guys know if I ever do. But as for right now, it's probably the best clear coat I have ever used. And as for our mystery Pokemon, which I'm guessing a lot of you have already guessed who it is, I tried sanding it down to the point where it lined up the rest of the body. After a while, I gave up on sanding and I decided to use wood putty. However, all my wood putty dried up. I was gonna go buy more, but I remembered I had air drying clay. Now, I'm not the most experienced person with clay, so I just winged it like I do a lot of things. So I glued the two halves together and slapped some clay on it, and I let that dry for a day. When I came back, I did a little bit of sanding, a little bit of cleaning up, and I put a coat of flat black on it. Little did I know, the plastic and the clay both dried different shades of black, so I decided to use spray on plastic. And that seemed to do the trick, and then I went back through with another layer of black. Now, my girlfriend wanted the shiny version of the Pokemon, so I tried to add 2 different shades of purple to the body, and I finished it up with yellow accents. Now, I was mainly going by memory when I was painting this, so I forgot to fill the circles in, and then I went ahead and clear coated. Well, if you guessed Punkaboo, you'd be correct. Now, I did go off camera and I added magnets to Punkaboo's head just so his head will stay on a bit better and won't fall off when you're moving him around. But with that, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. I thought about drilling a giant hole in his ass. Stop it. You want me to?
Yeah.
You want me to drill a hole in his ass?
Yeah. He could be our little tree star.
He doesn't light up.
That's fine.
That's fine?
Yeah.
I guess I'm drilling a hole in Punkaboo's ass.